right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hopefully you guys are having a great rest of your day, start to your day, whatever time it may be. It is crazy cold out here, and that means we are going to be doing some hard pulls in the Shelby Gt350. I will be doing a 100 to 150 and a 60 to 130. Let's see what she does, man. ESS G3R, 105mm pulley. Obviously we are on E85. You got 20s in the front, 18s in the back, ET Street R's that are gonna get replaced very soon. So yeah, let's see what she can do. If y'all enjoy this type of content, feel free, drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications. Let's get this little cold start going. Not really a cold start, but y'all know what I mean. Woo! It's freezing, y'all, it's freezing. Now, there's no denying, times have changed and we live in an absolutely crazy world. You never know what the next person you meet is thinking and is trying to do. I mean, there's some sketchy people out there. Take a look at this. Somebody is walking up to my car now. Y'all see this shit? As a car enthusiast, one of the most important things is making sure myself and my ride is safe and secure. And happily, there's a company out there that believes the same as me, and that company is CarLock. Car theft is very real. Thousands of cars are stolen in the US every single day, 1 every 3 seconds, and it's very important that you are not part of that statistic and your car stays safe and secure. Now what we have here is a care package from CarLock. Everything you see is going to be linked in the description. We have the actual CarLock device, which you connect into your OBD2 port. We also have the OBD2 extender, which you can use to further hide the CarLock device. Sometimes they are located in areas where it's difficult to go ahead and have this in a safe and secure spot. CarLock can send real-time notifications to your smartphone if the device is disconnected, vibrations detected, the vehicle is moved, or if the vehicle is turned on. You can also track your vehicle's location via the CarLock app, so you can always know where your vehicle is located. Now that's peace of mind. So what are you waiting for? Get your CarLock today and you can use my exclusive code Ears POV 10 to save 10% off your next purchase. Protect your property and gain some peace of mind. All right, headed out to Mexico. There are actually quite a few cars out and I do not know why, and it is freezing. I know the DA is probably going to be negative 1500 or something like that. I'm going to have to do a burnout. Depending on if it hooks up decently in third gear around 70 mile an hour, I'll know if I'll be able to do a second gear 60 to 130, because it's probably going to spin like ridiculously bad, because I think this is technically the coldest air we've had in Houston so far since the beginning of the year. So we'll see. We'll see what we can get accomplished today. The goal is to get the car to run a 4.5 100 to 150. 60 to 130, it's probably going to be cooked because of the spinning, but if we can get this car on paper to run a 4, that would be cool.
A few moments later.
All right, we are in Mexico. I have the draggy hooked up and the DA is negative like almost 1500, so we'll see what we can do. I'm gonna warm them up on the access ramp. Oh man, we almost got it too. Shit, it was close. Oh my goodness. It's gonna happen tonight. I'm telling y'all this right now. All right, so it's the next day. Unfortunately, my GoPro died. It is what it is. Now, I do have the draggy videos for all the runs that I did do, so I'm gonna go ahead and play those in this video as well. So I got you guys the POVs of at least the draggy side of things, which I think is a massive, massive W. So the first run, that was what you saw GoPro wise. The car ran a 4.64 100 to 150. Now, the weather, 43 degrees outside, 107 feet in the air, as well as the DA was negative 1451. Slope was 0.19. That was currently the fastest 100 to 150 I've ever done in the car, but I knew I had more in it because the third to fourth shift wasn't the best. It was kind of crazy because, you know, I hadn't felt the car move like that due to the fact that this was currently the best air that we've had in Houston for the setup that's on the car right now. I've dragging in a little bit better air, but it was on the Pro Charger with the 4.88 pulley. There's like 150 horsepower difference. So that was that run. Now, here's where things get pretty interesting, because I decided to do a second gear 60 roll. I tried to get a 60 to 130 leaving in second gear. Was definitely a bad idea because the car did not hook, but the 100 to 150 was actually not bad. It's in the fact that, you know, second gear was useless and I had to go ahead and correct it, you know, going into third gear. Now, the second run, the car went a 5.54 60 to 130. That was a second gear start, same exact weather. Obviously, the car spun pretty bad, but if I had the GoPro POV, you would have saw I had to go ahead and correct it in second gear. That actually is a slower 100, or not 100 to 150, 60 to 130 than the car did with the belt slip on the 110. So that's how I knew, okay, this car has a lot more in it if I can get it to hook. And after that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do one more pull, and I'm gonna try to do a PB 100 to 150 because I knew for a fact it was not gonna hook up to get a 60 to 130. And there you have it, guys. That is the fastest 100 to 150 that I've done so far in the Shelby Gt350. I hit my goal on the 105 millimeter pulley. We got a 4.55. I wanted to get a mid 4 100 to 150. The weather was the exact same. I think that is a massive, massive W with this car, man. We just weighed the car, we dynoed the car, and I think everything is right on the money. Now, that third gear hit, I kind of noticed something funky when I went ahead and hit it in third gear. And I think the clutch is actually starting to slip, which is crazy because the car ran its fastest 100 to 150 with the clutch potentially slipping. I don't know if that was clutch slip fully, but looking back through some of my videos, I'm gonna go ahead and do another hit later on and might go ahead and test the car to Mexico again. If it does the same thing, I know for a fact this Vengeance Stage 2 clutch is unfortunately on its way out. Now, I did not actually break it in properly. I only did 350 miles break in. You're supposed to do 700, but I was impatient. So yeah, it might actually be acting up. But at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal because we have a transmission getting built, and I'm gonna be able to run a better clutch that can support a built transmission. So I think we'll be good to go. I should say I can now run a clutch that isn't gonna tear up a stock transmission. So yeah, that vengeance setup, I guess, was just going to be temporary. Realistically, it was going to be temporary because it was really heavy to drive. Feels good under watt, but just driving around town, I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like people were capping when they said that the clutch is like stock. It's definitely not like stock. I think everybody I've talked to, even people who own shops that have installed the clutches, you know what I'm saying, they're all telling me that they're not like stock. So we're going to go a different direction with the built transmission. So yeah, it is what it is. Obviously, I'm not gonna worry about it now. If it's slipping, it's slipping. It is what it is. I'm just gonna beat the shit out the clutch and then replace it with the new trans. So we good to go. If you guys enjoyed the vid, feel free, drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications. I'm glad I was able to go ahead and get the PB on the 105 before the clutch completely smoked itself. And we did it on a stock transmission as well. So that's pretty badass. That's pretty badass. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Stay safe out there, y'all. Deuces.